हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानन्दन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, राधा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 7. The chapter is entitled Remembrance of Lord Krishna, and it is a discussion between Uddhava and Vidura. Please repeat. Uddhava uvacha Krishna dyumni nimloche Gineshu ajgarenaha Kim nunaha kushalam bruya Gata shrishu graheshvaham. Uddhava uvacha Krishna Dyumni Nimloche Girneshu Ajgarenaha Kim Nunaha Kushalam Bruyam Gata Shri Shugraheshwaham Uddhava Vacha Krishna Dyumni Nimloche Girneshu Ajgarenaha Kim Nunaha Kushalam Bruyam Gata Shri Shugraheshwaham Matajis. So I'll read the word to word. Uddhava Vacha Shri Uddhava said, Krishna Dyumni, the Krishna son, Nimloche, having set, Girneshu, being swallowed, Ajgarena, by the great snake, Ha, in the past, Kim, what, No, else, Naha, our, Kushalam, welfare, Bruyam, may I say, Gata, gone away, Shrishu, Griheshu, in the house, Aham, I. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Uddhava said, My dear Vidura, the son of the world, Lord Krishna has set, and our house has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say to you about our welfare? Purport. The disappearance of the Krishna son may be explained as follows according to the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vidura was struck with great sorrow when he got the hint of the annihilation of the great Yadu dynasty as well as of his own family, the Kuru dynasty. Uddhava could understand the grief of Vidura and therefore he first of all wanted to sympathize with him by saying that after the sunset everyone is in darkness. Since the entire world was merged in the darkness of grief, neither Vidura nor Uddhava nor anyone else could be happy. Uddhava was as much aggrieved as Vidura and there was nothing further to be said about their welfare. The comparison of Krishna to the sun is very appropriate. As soon as the sun sets, darkness automatically appears. But the darkness experienced by the common man does not affect the sun itself either at the time of sunrise or of sunset. Lord Krishna's appearance and disappearance are exactly like that of the sun. He appears and disappears in innumerable universes, and as long as he is present in a particular universe, there is all transcendental light in that universe. But the universe from which he passes away is put into darkness. His pastimes, however, are everlasting. The Lord is always present in some universe, just as the sun is present in either the eastern or the western hemisphere. The sun is always present either in India or in America, but when the sun is present in India, the American land is in darkness. And when the sun is present in America, the Indian hemisphere is in darkness. As the sun appears in the morning and gradually rises to the meridian and then again sets in one hemisphere while simultaneously rising in the other, so Lord Krishna's disappearance in one universe and the beginning of his different pastimes in another take place simultaneously. As soon as one pastime is finished here, it is manifested in another universe, and thus his Nitya Leela or eternal pastimes are going on without ending. As the sunrise takes place once in 24 hours, similarly the pastimes of Lord Krishna take place in a universe once in a daytime of Brahma. The account of which is given in the Bhagavad Gita as 43 million years. But whether the Lord is present, all his different pastimes are described in the revealed scriptures, take place at regular intervals. As the sunset, the snakes become powerful, thieves are encouraged, ghosts become active, the lotus becomes disfigured, and the Chakravaki laments. So, with the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the atheists feel enlivened and the devotees become sorry. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sadivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome all the devotees for our Srimad Bhagavatam class. So with time I am realizing that what tough seva this is to speak on the Srimad Bhagavatam, because if you speak from your realizations, then you have very little to share. And if you speak, just as a parrot, then it's artificial. So I can't speak with realizations a lot. I can't speak without realizations because I don't want to be artificial. But I would like to speak with the aspiration that the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam, if I repeat, then probably I'll be able to someday, with all of your blessings, be able to understand and apply this. So please excuse me if what I speak you may not find coherent with my personality or behavior, but then this is the message of Bhagavatam with the aspiration that we all can learn and apply this. We will have this discussion. So one particular theme in this entire verse caught my attention, which basically Vidura has been asking about the welfare of all the relatives. He has been asking about the welfare of the Yadus, the Pandavas, the Kurus, everyone he has been asking of the welfare. And this is somewhat of a cliched question. How are you? Meet someone even without giving it a thought. We immediately say, how are you? And we have an auto-responder answer, cliched answer. Oh, I'm fine, doing great. How about you? So we have this pleasantries, we exchange, how are you? And so a similar question has been asked by Vidura, of course, inquiring about the welfare of devotees. So in answer to that, the answer of Uddhava is very profound and very thought-provoking. He's saying that, what can I speak to you about the welfare? Without the presence of Krishna, what is the question of any welfare for anyone? So this particular thing really is the theme which we shall be elaborating upon. Without Krishna, there is no question of any welfare. And this is the sentiment which Uddhava is echoing here. And although in our day-to-day life, yes, pleasantries and these formal exchanges, how are you? So they are definitely important and have their place in our lives. But if it is just a formality, then it is not serving any purpose. So Prabhupada often would challenge our assumptions and the stereotyped ways in which we do things. For example, here, how are you? I'm fine. It's an autoresponder. So once Prabhupada was in Mexico, and Miss Mexico, devotees would catch any celebrity, any influential person and get them to Prabhupada, somehow if they can get the mercy. So this Miss Mexico came there, and how they are trained to be nice, trained to be very, very congenial, cordial, and appreciative. So then, she was just fluttering her eyelids and everything is good. She was telling Prabhupada, I like this place so much. This is so nice. And I'm glad to be here. And I would like to come back again to this center. And I enjoyed your program very much. So Prabhupada said, why do you want to come back here? Matter of the fact, Prabhupada just said, she's saying that this is so nice, I would just like to come back here. Just out of formality, she was saying, Prabhupada asked, what is the reason for you to come back? And no one asks Miss Mexico such questions. She was unsettled. That what am I supposed to answer? I was just supposed to be good and do good, but then Swamiji is asking. Then he said, have you read my books? Do you know the philosophy? She sheepishly said, no. So then why do you want to come back? She had no answer. So Srila Prabhupada immediately brought her from the platform of being the Miss Mexico to a spirit soul, understanding that I am not this and that, I am a spirit soul. And so Srila Prabhupada, oftentimes he challenged these kind of autoresponder, formal things that become a routine part of our lives. So there was a book of Dr. Thomas Harris, which became a bestseller in the year 1972 for a couple of years. This book was called I Am Okay, You Are Okay. So this book came from that popular culture of individualism, where, okay, I am good the way I am, and I will not bother you, and you also don't bother me. Right? So let us be peaceful in our, uh, immoral and corrupt behavior, and not bother or question each other. To that extent, and that was quite popular. I am okay, you are okay. When devotees brought this up, Prabhupada, there's a book, I am okay, you are okay. Prabhupada said, I am okay, you are not okay. So very, very emphatically he said, and devotees were not blessed. So Prabhupada meant that Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukrito no Arjuna. These four type of people are okay if they are approaching Krishna. Arto arthati jigyasu jnani. But four type of people are not okay. Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhama. They are naradhamas. They are not okay. And Prabhupada was not speaking this out of one-upmanship. Okay, I am higher than you and you need to listen to me. Prabhupada was speaking it out of compassion. That unless you realize you are diseased, you won't be cured. So give up this facade of I am okay, you are okay. Realize that there's something not okay. Prabhupada writes in the preface of Bhagavatam that somewhere there's a pinprick in the modern civilization. Despite all the advancement, he's not discounting the advancement, but he's saying there's a pinprick. Something is not okay. And well, later on, recently in 2013, another psychologist, Professor Dr. Linda Wood, she came with a book, I am okay, you are not okay. She's talking about how people are having psychological troubles, and you can't say everyone is okay. So well, time tells the truth. So the idea is that the sages, the saints, they challenge our assumptions, the set patterns and stereotypes of saying and doing things. In modern age, we have, in the 21st century, disruptive technologies which have disrupted the way we do things, the way we buy and sell products, Amazon, Flipkart, the way people approach education, online education, Zoom, work from home, the way people travel, Ola, Uber, etc., the way people get entertained, Netflix, etc. So there are disruptive technologies which have challenged the way we have been doing things. But there is something called disruptive theology. Krishna consciousness is a disruptive theology which challenges the way we think, not do things, not just do things, but the way we think. So Prabhupada would challenge the way the society has been, just going on with its patterns. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Maharaj, he says that in today's day and age, if a lie is repeated, loud enough and long enough, it becomes it is understood to be a truth. And if someone is born in that, tradition, in generation after generation where that lie has been accepted, they accept it as gospel truth, right? So without questioning. So here Uddhava is really questioning our auto-responder answer. I am fine, you are fine. He's saying you are not fine, I am not fine, Vidura. We must admit we are not fine without Krishna. Without Krishna, no one can be fine. And being in the well, we cannot talk of well-being. Being in the well of material existence, we cannot really talk of well-being. So there are many parameters which social scientists come up with: happiness index, life expectancy, GDP, growth rate of economies, etc., to evaluate the well-being of individuals and nations. But Uddhava is questioning it. All of these indexes, all of these quotients, they are simply a farce without Krishna. But now wait a minute. When Uddhava is saying this, that without Krishna everything is null and void, is it our experience also? In our experience, when is it that we don't feel fine? When is it that we feel uncomfortable or out of place? When is it that we feel troubled, pained, worn out or torn away, right? When is it that we feel like this? Probably we feel like this, worn out, torn, troubled, not comfortable, when our body, mind, or ego gets hurt. We don't feel troubled, okay, if we don't have Krishna. We feel troubled and pained uh, if our body, mind, and the ego is affected. We feel affected when our possessions, our position, our pleasures, all of these are challenged, right? When do we become anxious? When do we lose sleep over something? Hmm? Probably when we lose an iPhone, when we find someone else is getting a better salary than me, someone is doing better than me, is appreciated more than me. So when is it that we become anxious and cry tears, right? It is not probably when our spiritual life is not going well. We cry tears, we become anxious when our material life is not going well. But the Bhagavatam is telling this is a sure, short recipe for more tears. People in this world will try you, they will try you out, they will try you, fry you, and then make you cry. But it is Krishna only who is someone who can value your tears. If there is someone worth to give your tears to, that is Krishna. Otherwise, Bhagavatam says, Dehapatya kalatrasdishu atma sainyeshu asatsvapi tesham pramatto nidhanam pashyan api na pashyati. That we may find that shelter, that comfort, being fine with deha, with the body, apatya, the children, kalatra, wife, etc., possessions, so on and so forth. But these are atma sainyeshu asatsvapi. They are fallible soldiers. They can't really give a shelter. And what to speak of giving those shelters, the desires in our heart which we take shelter of, our plans, our desires, they are never going to get fulfilled. We cry when our desires are not fulfilled. But Mukulmala Sutra, Kamadinam Katina Katidha Palita Durnidesha, that this lust, these desires, material desires, we have been their faithful servant for life after life after life. But have they ever acknowledged, recognized, appreciated our unending, tireless labor of lust, labor of love, which we, labor of lust, which we think as love? No, they are not satisfying. They are not satisfied, neither satisfying us. So, in our honest, assessment, we don't find ourselves crying. We don't find ourselves anxious, losing sleep, feeling uncomfortable, out of place in absence of Krishna. We find ourselves doing all of these things in absence of material pleasure, position, power, possessions, etc. But then, if we really want to talk of well-being, which is called swastha, being swastha, what does it mean to be swastha? To be situated in one's constitutional position, swa, one's own constitutional position, and stha, to be situated there. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. So we have to somewhere down the line, when we think about welfare, well-being, wellness, we have to think about, am I Krishna conscious? Am I advancing in my Krishna consciousness? And therefore, when the Brahmana, the messenger of Rukmini, comes to Krishna, Krishna doesn't ask him, how are you? He asks him, how is your sadhana going on? How is your following of dharma, regulative principles going on? Kachit dvijavara shrestha dharmaste vradha sattama Varatate nati krachena santushta manasa sada. He's saying, are your religious principles being practiced as sanctioned by the senior authorities? And are you doing it with satisfaction? So actually the yardstick and for one's wellness and well-being, Krishna is showing here is how is our sadhana going on. Yeah. So, of course, when this Brahmana came, Lord Krishna offered him a very comfortable stay, welcome, nice food. He took care of all of his material needs. But then his question was not, how is your material well-being? His question was, how is your spiritual well-being? So similarly, just reflecting on this wonderful institution of ISKCON, we talk of devotee care, all the facilities are provided for caring for devotees, in the sense of, that are the devotees happy, healthy, do they have the resources they need? All of that is there. Srila Prabhupada is providing all of this through this facility of ISKCON. But then the question which probably Krishna is asking to the Brahmana, probably that same question Prabhupada is asking us every day when we come to pay our obeisances to him. How is your sadhana going on? How is your spiritual well-being? He's not probably asking us, okay, how is your material comfort? He's providing that. Krishna is providing all of that. But the question he has, the accountability that he is expecting from us is, are you doing your sadhana properly? Are you investing in your sadhana? So, once Srila Prabhupada came to Mumbai, and the Juhu land was acquired and the construction was happening, but then there was need of raising funds. And that time, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Giriraj Maharaj, Achyutanand Maharaj, and Sridhar Maharaj, these four big, stalwart leaders, they were in the service of raising funds. And all the who's who and the rich people were in South Mumbai, whereas the land was in Juhu. So they realized everyday traveling is not really good. So they rented a flat apartment in a Shivner building, Shivner apartments, and they were staying here in South Mumbai, in this apartment. So Prabhupada came and he wanted to see where all of you are staying. So they brought Prabhupada to the Shivner apartment, and they had painted it just a few days back, to make it look good. So then Prabhupada entered the apartment, and as if, smelling something which others are not smelling, he said, have you been having your regular programs here? So then Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he said, Prabhupada, this place was so run down, it was not appropriate. So we are planning now, we have painted everything, we are now planning to invite people every Monday, Wednesday and Friday for programs. So Prabhupada said, I am not talking about people's program. I am asking about your morning program. Are we having the Mangala Arati, the chanting, japa with devotees here every day? So he was not concerned about how much funds you are raising. He was concerned about how much the premadhan, the wealth of the chanting, the holy names, you all are earning. And then Prabhupada said, otherwise, it will just become collect money, eat nicely, sleep nicely, and this flat will become a transcendental hotel, and life will become a transcendental fraud. So he was really keen that devotees, their spiritual advancement is happening properly. They are investing in their spiritual advancement beyond all the external progress of the institution and the organization. And that's why we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Haridas Thakur, in advanced age, when he was sick, once Govinda came to offer him, like every day, Jagannath Mahaprasad, but he saw that he's unlike every day when he would be sitting under that Siddha Bakul tree and chanting. He was lying down and chanting, murmuring. And he was quite concerned. He said, I have brought for you Mahaprasad. Haridas Thakur said, I can't take Mahaprasad today. I have not completed my vows of chanting the holy names. So, but then he said, okay, you have brought Mahaprasad, I can't neglect it, so I'll just honor it a little. So the next day, Aradin Mahaprabhu Tara, Thani Aila, Shushta how Haridas Bali Tare Puchila. Shushta how Haridas, how are you? Of course, he asked this question, how are you? Being concerned of his health. But then, what is the response of Haridas Thakur? Namaskara karite ho kaila nivedan sharira shushta hai mora ashushta buddhi man. My body is fine, but my mind is not fine. Why? Sankhya Kirtan na pura hai. I have not been able to complete my vows of chanting my rounds. So, when we see these great devotees, whether it is Haridas Thakur, whether it is Srila Prabhupada, Acharyas, they are, or Uddhava here, they are indicating to us that somewhere our well-being is very much dependent on our spiritual advancement, spiritual culture. And we need to realize this sentiment which Uddhava is echoing for all of us here. We need to develop this longing for Krishna, that if Krishna is not there, I am not fine. The first step of being cured of any disease is to be not at ease. Disease means to not be at ease. Yes? If we are at ease with the disease, then we won't take the medicines, the doctor, or the entire do's and don'ts seriously. So we need to become aware what is this disease when we just think about, okay, let me finish my rounds. When we are okay not reading Bhagavatam for days and weeks at a time, we need to be aware there's something wrong. When we keep excuses ready for seva, we need to know that as per the diagnosis of Uddhava, something is wrong. What does a healthy person, healthy spiritual person look like? Arjuna, he is chanting even in his sleep, while we are sleeping in our chanting. Yeah. So when it becomes so involuntary that we are just completely naturally feeling attraction towards the holy name. The success of chanting, Prabhupada says, is not 16 rounds. The success of chanting is when we continue after 16 rounds. Prabhupada says, why only 16 rounds? Chant 16,000 rounds. Yeah, so of course, as I said in the preamble, that this is not what I represent, but this is what the aspiration we can have. To have that longing that I need this. I am not fine without this. I am not fine without chanting quality rounds. I am not fine without reading Bhagavatam every day. I am not fine without serving the Vaishnavas. So this is the aspiration of longing for Krishna, and it is called Vipralambha. And I was reading Sachin Swami Maharaj's very wonderful book, The Living Name, and in that he defines what Vipralambha means. Vipra means distance and Alamba means to attain. He says Vipralambha means to attain what is in distance, what is far away from us. And therefore the Goswamis, what is their mood of being in Vrindavan? He Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta, Shri Govardhana Kalpapada Patale, Kalindi Vane Kuta. So they are not saying, Prabhupada says that, oh, I found Krishna, he was there on the under the Kadam tree playing his flute. No, the Goswamis are saying, where are they? Where are they? So this longing is something Gaur Govind Maharaj says is very important. He says that we walk on two legs, the birds fly on two wings, right? So similarly, he says a devotee advances on the wing of Sambhoga and Vipralambha. That one wing of being with Krishna and another wing of longing for Krishna. And when that is there, then one can advance quickly and swiftly in Krishna consciousness. And Sachinand Maharaj further writes that we need to mourn and be sorrowful that I have broken up with Krishna. People come, these days, youth, they come say, Prabhuji, break up ho gaya. And they are crying. And, they are so sorrowful. And then, Prabhuji, can it happen again? Will she accept me again? People are so sorrowful about breakups. But then Sachinand Maharaj says we must be sorrowful about the biggest and the most terrible breakup that we have done as conditioned soul, breaking up from Krishna, the most eternal well-wisher of all the living entities. And when we have this longing that Krishna, I have made this terrible blunder, please accept me again. And with that longing, Sachinand Maharaj says we should chant our holy names, that Krishna, I want to make this relation good again. And if you think about it, this Vipralambha Bhav, Anarpita Charim Chirat, Karunayavati Nakalo, Mahaprabhu has come to give this highest mellow of love, Madhurya Rasa in Vipralambha. So probably that is the prerogative of the gopis of Vrindavan, the advanced devotees, the Prem Bhaktas. But wait a minute. Vipralambha means to attain something which is in distance. Now in this entire material and spiritual worlds, who is someone who is most away and distant from Krishna? Is it the gopis? Is it Uddhava, Arjuna, the Pandavas? Is it Prahlad, Dhruva, all of these devotees in the Bhagavatam? Who is it that is really away from Krishna? Who is distant from Krishna? Actually, it is us, the conditioned souls. And so if anyone deserves the exclusive right on Vipralambha or longing, it is us, conditioned souls. So in that sense, we have access to the greatest instrument for coming closer to Krishna. And Sachidanand Maharaj writes that Vipralambha is absence outside, presence inside. When we feel that absence of Krishna outside, we feel Krishna's presence inside. He says that in material relationships, longing makes the heart feel absence even more acutely. When you have longing for someone and that person is not around and you are feeling that longing, you feel that absence more acutely. But he says, quite paradoxically, when you feel longing for Krishna, it is spiritual in nature. And when you have that longing for Krishna, you feel the presence of Krishna in your heart, not the absence of Krishna. So it is a very powerful, magical way to come in the presence of Krishna by feeling the absence of Krishna. Yes. So, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when we say he has come to give this feeling of Vipralambha or longing to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, beautifully in the Antya Leela chapter 14, it talks about what kind of feeling a devotee develops to come in the presence of Krishna. So, Mahaprabhu is telling Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai, my mind has become a beggar. My mind has become a beggar and a madman, and he's telling my mind, its name is Mahabaula, greatest beggar, big madman. So he says, Dashendriya Shishya Kari Mahabaula Namadhari Shishya Laya Karila Gaman Mora Dehe Swasadan Vishaya Bhoga Mahadhan Sabachhadi Gela Vrindavan. So he says that I have given up all the expectations and aspirations of this material world, from this material world. And I realize that the jewel, the wealth which I am looking for is there in Vrindavan. And I have to beg for it. I have become a beggar, Mahabaula, and I have 10 disciples. So this is an amazing beggar. He has disciples also. Who are his disciples? My 5 senses, the knowledge acquiring Jnanendriyas and the Karmendriyas are the disciples. So which means that when the mind is hankering for something, the senses assist the mind to attain them. So Mahaprabhu is saying, so my mind has left this material world and the mind is going to Vrindavan with its 10 disciples, the senses and the Karmendriyas and the Jnanendriyas. And then he says, he talks about, when you talk of a beggar, there's a description of the beggar. If the beggar is all decked up in suit and coat, no one is going to give that beggar any bakshish, right? But if the beggar is really torn in tattered, ragged clothes, then it evokes compassion. So Mahaprabhu is describing, look, wait, what is my mind looking like? What is the beggar of my mind, this Mahabaula, looking like? He says, Krishna Leela Mandala Shuddha Shankha Kundala. That this beggar has worn a kundala. What is that kundala? It is Krishna Leela Mandala Gadi Ache Shukha Karikar. So that Krishna Leela, which has been composed by Shukadev Goswami, that kundala I am wearing in my ears. And sei kundala kane pari trishna lau thali dhari asha jhuli kandhera upar. So he says, I am wearing this ring of Krishna Leela, composed by Shukadeva Goswami. And then a beggar also needs to have a bowl, right? A begging bowl. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying the bowl is the bowl of my hankering, my aspiration. Trishna lau thali dhari. The bowl this beggar is carrying is the hankering to get Krishna. And the jholi. There's a jholi also which is hanging. We can visualize this in our mind, the beggar. The bowl of hankering and aspirations and the jholi of expectations. I have this aspiration to get Krishna Prem, to hanker for Krishna, and I have expectations from Krishna. So the burden I am carrying is a burden of expectation that Krishna, you will become merciful to me. You will be kind to me. You will not push me away from your lotus feet in any situation. And then, we read about the quilt which Sanatan Goswami was wearing, the very, very royal and rich, nice quilt. But this beggar is wearing a very torn, tattered quilt, and the quilt is the quilt of anxiety. Anxiety of attaining Krishna, which is wearing on his dirty, emaciated body. So, yes, he has these kundalas, the kundal of Krishna Katha. He has the bowl of aspirations and hankering, the bag of expectations from Krishna. Krishna will not turn me away. And then he is wearing this torn quilt of anxiety. When will I attain Krishna? That anxiety I have. And then he is wearing bangles. He is wearing 12 bangles of distress. Chinta kantha udhi gaye dhuli vibhuti malina kaye haha Krishna pralapa uttar udvega dwadasha hate lobhera jhulani mathe bhiksha bhave kshina kalevar. So udvega dwadasha, there are 12 distresses that the devotee experiences, and these distresses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in his highest feeling of separation from Krishna that this is my this is how I am dressed up, with this anxiety, with this hankering, with this expectation from Krishna, with this distress, with this anxiety. These are the ornaments of a devotee. These are the ornaments which when a devotee wears, then and he goes. Now a beggar goes to someone who is rich, who can really give him the wealth that he needs. Vrindavane prajagana yatas thavar jangam vriksha lata grahastha ashrame Tara ghare bhikshatana phala mula patrasana ei vritti kare shishyasane. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I know who are really the rich people. And these rich people, the really rich people, they reside in Vrindavan. And it is not just the devotees in the Madhurya Bhav or the Vatsalya or the Sakhya Bhav. He says that even those Sthavar Jangam, the inert inhabitants, the creepers, the trees of Vrindavan, the grass of Vrindavan, they are also really rich. And I am going to go and beg all of these creepers and trees and the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Bakshish, give me Krishna Prem. And finally he goes to the topmost, most wealthy, the billionaire list, the spiritual billionaires are the gopis. Krishna guna rupa rasa gandha shabda parasha se shuddha avasade aswade gopigan ta sabara grasa sheshe ani panchendriya shishye se bhikshaya rakhena jivan. So we can visualize this beggar along with its disciples are begging. These panchendriyas are begging. And the gopis, they have access to all the wealth. Krishna guna, that is rupa, Krishna's form. They are relishing Krishna's form, rasa, the taste of Krishna, the gandha, the smell of Krishna, the shabda, the sweet talks of Krishna, and sparsha, the touch of Krishna. So the gopis are experiencing the wealth in the form of Krishna's, touch, his vani, his form, etc. And he knows that they can give, some bakshish they can give. And thus my mind, with its 5 disciples, gets the bakshish and relishes to full satisfaction. So this is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is demonstrating what is the hankering a devotee must develop, and the the form of that hankering is that anxiety, that feeling of expectation from Krishna, that distress that I am not fine without Krishna. But the $1,000,000 question is, why are we not experiencing all of this? Why don't we have anxiety? Why don't we have distress? Why don't we have separation in this condition? And we know that we are in a serious situation because we are expecting all of our comfort and wellness from the fallible soldiers, which are anyways going to ditch us. So the answer is that we miss something or long for something if we, first of all, know that it exists. If we even don't know that something like this exists, we won't hanker for that. If you don't know that there's a Harinam Chintamani pizza or Gopal's Garden pizza and the Govindas, you won't hanker for it. You must first of all know. And knowing is also not enough, right? You can't make out just by knowing. You need to experience and taste it. You need to go. I'm not advertising, but just as an example. You need to go and have that experience. And not that experience is enough. You need to like it. But liking is also not enough, because then out of sight, out of mind. We like something, but then when it is around, we are happy, but we forget it. Right? There are so many things and people in our life. We like them, but out of sight, out of mind. But that should not be the case with Krishna. So it is not enough to just like it, but we need to develop love. And then the absence will make the heart grow fonder. Rather than out of sight, out of mind, the absence will make the heart grow fonder, develop that longing. So how do we go through the sequence of knowing about this great treasure, which this beggar has gone to Vrindavan to beg? Not just knowing about it, experiencing it, liking it and loving it. So Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj says, very darkness everywhere. Uddhava is saying there is cause of despondency everywhere. However, Krishna has given us not a ray of hope, but the sun of hope. Krishne swadham upagate dharma jnanadhibisaha kalau nashtadarshamesha puranarko adunodita. Krishna has not left us a ray of hope, but the entire sun of hope. While Krishna has gone away, he has appeared again in the form of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And if you really want to know what this Krishna Prem is, experience it, then we can experience it first hand, not first hand, second hand, through the experience of these devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And when we read the Bhagavatam, we really come to know who are those who are really healthy and wealthy. Healthy, wealthy and wise. When Shri Krishna, after the entire battle of Kurukshetra, he has been for a long time away from Dwarka, and all the Dwarka Vasis are in separation. And he is deciding, now I will go back to Dwarka, and suddenly, everything is ready, the queens, the chariots, the palanquins, everything is ready, and suddenly someone comes. Who comes? Uttara, Pahi Pahi Mahayogim, Deva Deva Jagatpate. Yatra mrityu paraspara, that this mrityu is coming in the form of Brahmastra, only you can save. And Krishna stops everything, protects Uttara, the child in the womb, Parikshit, and then he again prepares to go. So then someone again stops him. Who is it? Who stops him? Kunti Devi. Kunti Devi is saying that now that we are surrounded by all enemies whom we have defeated, can you afford to leave us in this situation? And she says that Vipada Santuta Shashvat Tatra Tatra Jagadguru. For me, these calamities are okay, but you going is not okay. Right? I'm not okay. I'm okay with calamities, but I'm not okay without you. Yeah? So Kunti Devi stops her. He very lovingly listens to her prayers, but then again, he gets up and sets off to move. Then another devotee comes. Krishna, don't go. Krishna, don't go. Yudhishthir Maharaj. He says, we can't. I have this great lamentation. Please relieve me. And then Krishna takes him to Bhishmadev, another devotee who is longing for Krishna to come, that I won't live my life without Krishna. So this is the way Bhagavatam is telling what kind of a longing, what kind of a love and hankering, that anxiety, that distress these devotees have in absence of Krishna. And so when Krishna comes to Bhishma Dev, then he departs. So the Bhagavatam is giving us a glimpse into what kind of a hankering and longing these devotees develop. And therefore, once like there's a story, like local story from Vrindavan about a Babaji, that how his longing led him to the ultimate goal. So this Babaji, all his life, he sincerely served his deities, Krishna Balaram deities in Vrindavan. He was painstakingly serving them, waking up early in the morning, getting them fresh water from Yamuna, bathing them, dressing them, feeding them, cooking for them. However, at the end of his life, he felt that Krishna, you have left me forlorn. You haven't reciprocated with me. I have been serving you so many years. You have never spoken to me. I read in the scriptures that you reciprocate with the devotees, ye yatha mam prapadyante, but you haven't ever spoken to me. And when those thieves came in the night and they beat me up and stole all of your vessels and ornaments, you just stood indifferent. I know you are not a stone. You could act at that time. So you have been very unkind to me. So now I know whose shelter to take. I am going to Barsana to take shelter of Srimati Radharani, because she is not unkind like you. She is very merciful. And then the entire village came to know about it, that the Babaji is going from Nandagaon to Barsana. People started coming behind. Babaji, don't go. You are so frail. You are so fragile. You will fall down and, you will leave your body. He said, no, nothing to do with Nandagaon. I am going to Barsana. And then the entire crowd persuaded, but he didn't agree. But then two boys were continuing to follow him, and they said, look, Krishna Balaram, they are hungry. Well, I know they can take care of themselves. No, but they are really hungry now. No one is there to feed him. Someone will feed them. And then those boys, they caught him strongly by the arms. And said, stop. We are hungry. And he turned and he said, actually, Krishna Balaram are standing both of his sides, and he falls down unconscious. And actually, Krishna Balaram tell him that Yashoda Maya has prepared the milk, but someone is supposed to serve, so you serve us. He falls down unconscious and goes back to the spiritual world. So this longing that a devotee has is something which is the wings which can take one to Krishna. And we see how by reading about these devotees from the Bhagavatam, we can also develop that longing. And this Bhagavatam is Krishna's appearance for us by reading Bhagavatam, by discussing Bhagavatam, by sharing Bhagavatam in this month of marathon, distributing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the way by which we can please Krishna most and express our longing for him, that Krishna, I really want you. And in this particular year, we cannot experience separation, but we can serve in separation. We can serve in separation from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and fulfill his desire to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books in that mood of separation, that and we can at least, just as Rath Yatra is the most exalted event where Radharani and the gopis are getting Krishna from Kurukshetra to Vrindavan. But then millions of people are given opportunity to get liberated and be part of that very intimate pastime. So similarly, we can also participate in bringing at least hundreds of thousands of people to Krishna in this mode of separation. And all of us, we can be Hanumans. Hanumanji, what service did he do? He served in the separation of Lord Ram for Mother Sita, right? So he jumped across the ocean to reach out to Mother Sita and give her the message of Lord Ram and pacify her. So similarly, all of us can be mini Hanumans. We can jump across the ocean of our excuses, that I am too shy, I don't know how to talk to people, I don't have time. So all of this ocean of excuses is there, but then taking the strength from these great devotees who have that longing, we can jump across. So there are Jambavans, these great devotees who are telling us, you can do it. Hmm? You can be okay also. Take this jump, make this leap, and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. So with this, we'll conclude here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'll again repeat the disclaimer that this is what I aspire for, and request all of your blessings, so that because this is not something within my experience, but then as a service, just repeating the words of the Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
पीछे से